What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and why I'm very bullish for next week based off what the data is showing and NIO actually resuming their production in China. They just resumed it after the halt due to the virus. I'm also going to talk about what's going on with NIO's Twitter page. That makes me very excited, and where I see the share price going based off technicals and why I'm very bullish for next week. Now, before I break this down and talk about what's happening to the SPY, to the market, and NIO, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, but it's the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo with my link down below and deposit $100, you're going to get up to 6 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500. Once again, that's free money. And you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash, whether you get $100, $200, $1,000 for free, and use that money to buy some NIO shares. This is your chance to get some free NIO shares, so please check it out before this offer ends at the end of April. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at NIO, we're down 3.77% for the day. Now, this is very similar to what I told you guys I thought would happen in my previous video. If you actually go back, I drew out this chart and I told you guys that I did see NIO dropping around that $20 range, maybe dropping a little bit lower towards that $19.50 level. I did predict we'd close around $19.50, and I was a little bit bearish based off what's happening with the SPY. So I want to actually bring this data back for you guys just briefly and talk about why this is very important. So in my previous video, I showed you guys the options chain for the SPY. The S&P 500 is basically tracked by the SPY, and we had 2.7 or almost 2.7 million puts out of the money. What that basically means is the fact that the share price of the SPY in a lot of stocks were a little bit too high for market makers, big institutions, and they didn't like that. They did not want the share prices to be that high, so they pushed them down. They pushed the market down to get more puts in the money because they had these puts. This was what their plan was, and it did end up working out pretty well for them. They got a few extra 100,000 puts in the money, which helped them make some money, and it did actually avoid a lot of big losses for them. So this is what they did to the SPY, and by doing this to the SPY, a lot of stocks that often track the SPY, such as NIO also tracks Tesla and the Nasdaq, but the SPY tended to actually run very similar to how the entire market ended up performing. We saw the Nasdaq end up dropping too. We saw tons of stocks, whether it's Apple or Walmart or the QQQ or Tesla. We saw lots of red left and right, and that did drag NIO down as well, as NIO is down 3.77% for the day, just as predicted. Now, going into next week, I do have to talk about something very big. So I want to remind you guys the market is closed tomorrow because tomorrow is supposed to be Good Friday, and they're doing that in commemorance of that day. It's supposed to be like a holiday. So the market's going to be closed. So don't worry about what happens tomorrow. The next trading day would be Monday of next week. So what do I see going into Monday, Tuesday, in the upcoming days? Well, Tesla has an earnings report. I think it's on the 20th of April. So the earnings report is definitely going to help Tesla run to the upside and probably start filling its gaps in the upwards direction. And that, as a result, does give a little bit of momentum for NIO. Now, NIO doesn't always run exactly how Tesla does, but it does help out just a little bit. Now, one thing that did also play a role in the market dropping a little bit is this piece of news. I just want to address this real quick. Basically, the US under the Biden administration has extended the public health emergency situation. Their regulations for another 90 days. And they're doing this as a result of what's happening in China and the spread of the virus. Now, it's not spreading badly in the USA. If you look at the data, it's not necessarily horrible. They're just doing this as a safety precaution, so to speak. And some people say it's unnecessary. Some people do not even want to talk about this. And other people just think that this was not good. It could have caused the entire market to crash. And I don't see it that way, okay? The market's not going to crash because of this, in my opinion. It's just a safety precaution. Whether you agree with it or not, that's fine. I just want to put it out there that did maybe play a bit of a role in the market selling off a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. And if anything, I'm actually a lot more bullish going into next week. So here are some of the reasons why. First off, I showed you guys Tesla. Tesla has those gap fills to the upside. And trust me, this relates to NIO. Just give me 1 second. If you go back on Tesla, Tesla has more gap fills at those higher levels around that 900, the $1,050 level. We are most likely going to run for Tesla, and I do think that's going to help NIO a little bit. But what's going to help NIO more is the SPY. If you look at the SPY, we can see this thing was sold off over the last couple of days, over the last week or so, and we do have these gaps. So look at this gap right here. There's a gap right over here with my cursor. So I'm trying to zoom in as much as possible. This giant gap, it never got filled, right? We never saw it actually get filled. And I could actually prove it wasn't filled. Let me draw a horizontal line. This is where the share price should have gone. That's at that $446 level, almost 447. And we have not gone there since. We've been dropping and dropping and dropping. So I would not be surprised if the SPY started to run up a little bit and fill this gap up here in that $447 range going into next week. And I am a little bit more bullish for the SPY. And I do think that's going to help NIO also run up and start filling its upper gaps. So you guys could see from a macro perspective, NIO is forming this inverse head and shoulders almost. It looks very strange in some ways. I've never seen it like drop that low so fast. That was a very strange move by NIO. I mean, if you look at the share price, this thing was like in the almost $20 range. It just dumped down to like 17, then it pushed right back up super fast because it's not natural for it to drop like that. And since then, we've been holding above 20. So around that $20 range, we've been trading around there, just oscillating back and forth between it. That's a good sign because NIO is gaining stronger support. It's not getting rug pulled the way it used to. And it's definitely showing that it has a lot of bullish momentum that's perpetuating. So why am I so bullish for NIO going into next week? And here's some of the many reasons why. One of them is this right here. It has been reported by CNBC. I could officially say that the Chinese EV maker NIO says it's gradually resuming production after the halt due to the virus. That is fantastic, fantastic news. It was just announced this morning that they are no longer in full halt mode. They're slowly resuming production. Now, one of the big details about that is the fact that their production facility, it's actually many hours away from Shanghai. It's like the western region of it, and they're many hours away from the center of it, right? So it takes many hours to drive there, so they're not as close to the center as some people may have thought they were. And as a result, it's allowed them, right? It allows them to actually start coming right back, starting to produce more cars once again, and improve their numbers going forward. So that's a very, very good piece of news. To me, it's fantastic. There are some, how should I say, supply chain issues, but they are starting to recover slightly and they're getting better and better and better according to the company. And their production in hi-fi, their base is getting better and better every single month. And I do think this is going to be a very, very good opportunity. Now, when they have their earnings report, which I believe is in another like 4 or 5 weeks, the thing about NIO's earnings is for the month of April, it may not be as great because of what happened during this halt. So I just want to put that out there for now, but we're not there yet. We have many, many weeks to wait, and I'm going to be very bullish. And here's one of the reasons why. So another reason is this inverse head and shoulders looks very bullish. You guys can see we have the head right over, we have the shoulder here, the head formed, and another shoulder, and we're ready to push right back up into this upper range. Now we also have a gap. I'm going to show you where this gap is, because typically NIO does, want to fill its gaps, which is why I keep talking about them. There's a gap right here, and let's draw out where this is just real quick. The gap is going to take us, let's see, to that $22.5 level. So NIO is going to most likely push to $22.50 sometime next week, most likely next week based off this data. Now, me saying this, it depends on the news too. I can't be 100% certain about that, but that's very likely based off the price action, based off the fact that this thing found its bottom right there at 1777, quickly bounced back, and it's getting ready to complete this trend it's in, and it does look like it's about to fill that gap. So I would not be surprised if we see NIO touch $23 a share sometime next week. I also want to talk about the MACD and the RSI just real quick. Right over here, right off the bat, if I bring up the 2-hour candles, just quickly, you could see we got that flip from the MACD and the 9-day moving average after we dropped to that $17 range. So right here, we can see we're starting to ascend slowly, and we're now starting an upward trend. RSI is a little low because we did drop today, so it dropped about 41.52. 2. So that just means we're kind of cooling off before we get ready to actually start running a little bit more, in my opinion. And as of right now, I am very bullish going into next week. I do see NIO running to that, I would say, the low $20 level, maybe as high as the mid $20 level. I would not be surprised if we start trading in this range between $22.5 and $24. Anyways, the last thing I wanted to talk about is this right here. Basically, Throwback Thursday is today. And you guys can see it right over here. If you take a look back at the leading video blogger in Germany, I can't really say their name, but they talked with the NIO vice president of design, who is Chris Thomasson, and basically they showcased their concept of the car. And to me, that was a very, very good thing for the company, really bringing out their innovation and their ET7 and bringing more light for it in Germany. So you guys can see that they're really spreading around the world. They're getting better every single month, and we are going to see them expand across the globe in the upcoming years, which is one of the many reasons why I'm so bullish for this company. And I do see big moves coming for the long term. So short term, like I said, it's looking good. Long term, it's looking even better if you just wait it out, be patient, and I see this company soaring and just defying the odds if you just give it the time it needs. With that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoy the weekend, and remember, the market is closed tomorrow. Just take a breather, take a walk if you guys want, relax, and get ready for Monday because I'm very, very excited. With that out of the way, NIO to the moon, and peace out.